At the trial, the prosecution must prove not only that you did the act, but that you also knew what you were doing. This must be proved beyond reasonable doubt.
Ladies, I always know what I'm doing.
To begin the trial, you will be asked how you plead to the charges. If the plea is not guilty, the prosecution must then fully present its case. The prosecutor will give a brief summary of the prosecution case and say which witnesses will be called. This is called the opening address. The police officers and other witnesses are then called one by one to give their evidence.
Maybe some of those witnesses are cute. Can I ask them questions?
Witnesses are required to take an oath on the Bible or give an affirmation to tell the truth. The prosecutor then questions the witnesses. When the prosecutor has finished examining the witness, you can ask the witnesses questions in cross-examination.
So, do the witnesses say whether they think I'm guilty or not?
No. To decide whether you are guilty or not guilty, the magistrate can only take into account the evidence presented in court.
Evidence includes all the information given directly to the court by a witness under oath. The prosecution must always prove that you are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove that you are not guilty.
I've seen this stuff on telly.
You do not have to present any evidence. You may just show where the prosecution case is weak, or argue that the prosecution has not proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You may choose to go into the witness box to give evidence on oath and be cross-examined, and call other witnesses on your behalf. Or you may choose not to give evidence, but to call other witnesses.
Well, it might be a bit hard to ask myself questions when I'm in the witness box. I suppose I could use two different voices.
Where were you on the night of the 5th?
I was at home in bed with my dog Buster. He had a bone and I whittled a stick.
Once all of your evidence has been presented, the prosecutor may reply to any new point raised by you.
Well, that should be interesting.
You might pick up a few things.
After all the evidence is heard, the prosecutor and you both have the right to address the magistrate and say why you should be found guilty or not guilty of the charges. The prosecution always goes first.
He looks like the type that likes to go first.
Mr. Little, after hearing all the evidence and addresses, I must decide whether you are guilty. I must also tell you the reasons for finding you guilty or not guilty. I may adjourn the case to decide whether you are guilty or not, but in many cases, I will give you a decision straight away.
No, you take as long as you need, Your Honour. It's an important decision to make.
If there is any reasonable doubt about whether you are guilty, you'll be given the benefit of the doubt and found not guilty. The charge will be dismissed and you can walk free. If, however, I am satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that you are guilty, I will find the charge proved and will then consider what penalty should be incurred.
You have a beautiful voice, Your Honour. I bet you could listen to the sound of it all day.
Thank you, Mr. Little.